So good morning, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here in this beautiful city of Barcelona. And I would like to thank the organizers, AIAFOR Association, Joseph Haldane, Melina, Matthew, for inviting me here. I thought I had more time than I actually have. I don't have so much time as originally I thought. So I will go fast through my slides, but I will make the important points. I will highlight them. So we all see every day in the newspapers news about AI and how it's changing everything as we work, live, and learn. So AI everywhere. And I'm going to talk about AI. So artificial intelligence assisted instruction, affordances, and issues. AI. And I use this AI assisted instruction as a reference to what existed before, or still exists, which is computer-aided instruction. This term was coined many years ago, and now I want to make the step from this computer-based, from this web-based, from this cloud-based assisted instruction to the AI-assisted instruction. And this is an important difference from the cloud, from the internet, from the web, from the computer to AI. Because I would like to say that we are starting a new era. This was said already before when moving to the digital age. Digital age allowed many different things that weren't possible before in, let's say, the electrical or the mechanical era. And the point I want to make is that we have to rethink, and we are not in the digital era anymore. We are entering the AI era, the intelligent era. If we just fast could go back about Industry 4.0, 1.0 was the mechanization, 2.0 use of electricity, 3.0 computers and automation, and fourth, the AI-based industry. We can translate this as well for education. We have the education 1.0, which is using the blackboard and the chalk and the book. 2.0, electricity, the projector like we have here. 3.0, the use of cloud computing, internet, the computer, and 4.0, artificial intelligence. And what we as teachers and students do in these different levels is quite different. We do what we did before, but we are allowed to do more things. Let me check. For instance, 3.0 is the use of Moodle, Mentimeter, and edX MOOCs, and 4.0 is using AI tools. So what do we do as teachers differently? How do we teach in these four moments? As a professor, I would use the blackboard, the whiteboard, or whatever color board, and use the chalk or some pen. In the 2.0, we could do what we did before, still do it, but then we can use also a slide projector. 3.0, the digital age, is the age of the MOOCs. 12 years ago, we can distribute our teaching throughout the world through massive open learning courses, for instance, and to open education resources. This is 3.0. And what could we do different on top of that? We don't forget anything before, but we can do not just record videos, we can generate artificially videos in order to have a faster turn, a faster cycle of generating content. And as students, we also do different things. For instance, in 1.0, we took notes with the professor, the only source of knowledge was talking about. In 2.0, this is maybe when I started. On top of taking notes, we could photocopy. We were not available before. In 3.0, what do you think is what the student can do? What some of you are doing right now, taking pictures with your mobile phone. It was not possible before. And for 4.0, what can the student do what was not possible before? What do you think? Well, use these transcribing tools like StudyFetch, where from your computer, you can transcribe what the professor is saying into text and then ask questions about what he was talking about. So these are additional possibilities without replacing the ones before. So it's essentially quite different what we as teachers and what we as students do. Because machine learning, AI, is something fundamentally different from computing, from algorithms. Some people say it's the same. No, it's not the same. It's the opposite. In computing, we take rules, the algorithms, the procedures to compute something, we take the data and get the results. With machine learning, with AI, it's the opposite. We take a lot of results and some data and get the rules. You see, it's the other way around. And not to understand it, let me give a simple example. Translation between languages got a quantum leap when AI was used. Before, you gave the rules. This is the vocabulary in different languages. This is the grammar. This is the correspondence between words. And translation was, well, okay, bad, good. But now, you take a lot of, for instance, all these user manuals, which are in different languages, maybe even badly translated. We take all of this big data, feed it, and try to train AI, and you get something much better. And you know the translation now works very well, even with audio and voice control. So this is an essential difference. It's the other way around. Training is an important step. It's based, of course, on the big data that was available by 3.0, and we built on that in order to build our AI tools. So, as Mustafa Suleiman from the company that was bought by Google later on, he says in his book, The Coming Wave, everything is about to change, and among this everything is also education. So let me finish these first minutes just by summarizing. The key message to you is we have gone through different eras. I call them mechanical, electrical, connected, or digital or information age, and then the smart age. And what was said before, when we moved into the digital age, many people said that the CEO of Telefonica and many other people say it's not an era of change, but it's a change of era. This we can say now again, because from the digital age, the information age, to the smart age, to the intelligent age is an important step which changes everything. First idea. Second idea. Let's go very fast because you know most of it, what AI can do for you. What are the affordances? It all started with a chat box. We typed in something on 30th November 2022, OpenAI, open to the world. This chat box, and the world was surprised. And you can understand, you can imagine this as an intern, as a co-pilot, an assistant, a companion intern. And I think I like the idea of the intern because it's somebody who is not perfect, whom you have to give good instructions, and where you have to also look at the feedback, whether it's correct or not. So you have to be patient sometimes with the intern because they are not always correct. So this intern was, at the very beginning, expert in working with text. As a writer, as a copy editor, as a translator, as a summarizer, and these were some of the things you could do. You can summarize text, rephrase text, expand text, extract the sentiment and emotion of text. Customer care is now more and more just driven by AI, not by people responding to the comments of the customers. You can extract topics. You can even generate structured text, which can be then converted into, for instance, structured mind maps. This is text, but with some structure in it, from which you can convert into a graph. This is also possible. But then we very soon learned that it's not just text it can generate. It can generate images. And there are many tools, you know them, I don't want to go through them, DALI, Midjourney, etc., that are able to get better and better images. Even with, at the very beginning, the text in the images was not perfect, but then with ideogram and others, it's getting better and better so that you can make nice logos. And you can improve, this is like magic, everything is like magic. You can improve the resolution of images. Some of the slides, some images I use in my slides had a very bad resolution. I put it through AI in order to improve the resolution. Or you can extend, so get the context. This is the lady of the pearl. No? Okay, extend this and extend it further. So give some context of the time. Or you can, this is, I used Nano Banana of Google. I put this image, which is the one I also sent here to the conference. Okay, now make it longer and with a prompt and saying like this. This is not me. This is not a photo taken by this gentleman here, but it's just very few seconds and you get it. Or this, or this, or this. Okay. But then we learned that not only image and text was possible, but also to generate audio. You can generate music with Suno or with Udio. You can generate podcasts with Notebook LM, etc. I will not go through the details, but particularly for education, Notebook LM, you can get summaries, you can ask questions, generate ideas, and create postcards, and even also videos right now. Fourth, videos was also possible, like magic. You know? So you can generate videos with avatars, without avatars. And I'm going to show an example of mine. Let's see whether the audio is not too bad and whether it's synchronized or not. So I was 5 months in Italy before the summer, and I did a MOOC about teaching and learning with AI. Since my Italian is not perfect to make a video to be, well, it was 24 videos to be launched to the world, I recorded it in Spanish. And I used AI with voice cloning and lip sync in order to generate a video that would speak perfect Italian. Let's see the sound.
Ciao, io sono Carlos Delgado Kloos, professore di ingegneria telematica dell'Università Carlos III di Madrid, e ti guiderò in questo percorso innovativo realizzato con il supporto
It was me, it was my image, but with lip sync and voice cloning. But I can also make an avatar of myself. So I will not go through it. On the right-hand side is my avatar, and I'm speaking with my image to this avatar. And well, let's go fast, maybe let's see.
E ci preoccupa l'uso fraudolento che potrebbero fare gli studenti. Ma l'IA è molto di più. Un momento. Yo soy Carlos Delgado Kloos. Tu eres un impostor.
Okay,
scusami, non sono...
Okay. As was said before, this MOOC is available in Italian at Federica Web Learning website, but also in Coursera in Spanish and in English. I did not go to the studio again to record it, as I did with some earlier MOOC 10 years ago. The Java MOOC, I went twice to the studio, one to record it in Spanish and one to record it in broken English. But now I go once, and the rest is AI. But then we found out that these AI tools were not just one modality. They were multimodal, everything together. So all these interns were able to use text, images, audio, and video as input and output. So in both directions, at both at input and output side, all the modalities were possible. So we got this improved AI. Now it was said, okay, in garbage in, garbage out, if your prompts, if your input, if your request is not good, you will not get a good result. You have to learn writing prompts. You have to learn prompt engineering. We heard this a year or more ago, no? And the career of the future would be prompt engineering. So there were some techniques on how to prompt well. For instance, one technique was this chain of thought prompting, which if you, especially for complex contexts, if you explain it well, if you dedicate some time to say what you want, you get better results. It was an empirical result that was found out. What is chain of thought prompting? For instance, to the left is without prompting, is chain of thought prompting. You give a question, you give the answer, and you pose another question, and I ask you to give the answer. And sometimes the answer is wrong. Whereas if you do chain of thought prompting, you give the question, you give the answer, but on top of it, how to compute the answer. You have to add, subtract, etc., and then pose the new question, and you get the correct answer. So this is one of the many techniques there are for prompting, chain of thought prompting. You can see several of these tools to the right. The question is, why do I have to learn prompt engineering? Wouldn't the AI do it better? Who does the prompting better? Well, it's not us, maybe the AI tool as well. So the next step is to have these extended thinking capabilities. This is put into the system, and if you give a small prompt, it makes a big prompt and gets a good answer. So this is what we've obtained these thinking modes in OpenAI, in Gemini, etc. This is reasoning, where there are several steps. You get an input, you get the result, and it internally gets it again as an input for another step, etc. So you get an excellent result. So improvement on the side of the system. The next thing is there was a cutoff date. Okay, this with ChatGPT 3.0 only had the knowledge until whatever date. But then more recently, augmentations were added to have access to the web, to have access to memory, to remember short-term or long-term memory, to have access to other documents and to other tools. So we got this improved chat box, which allowed for deep research. And the final step, and then we'll go then to the real thing, is all these different tools can now collaborate with each other. It's not only multimedia, not only thinking, but you can have several of these tools, specialized tools, collaborating with each other, which is basically the agent idea, the agentic systems, the AI agents. What is it? AI agents are software systems that use AI to pursue goals given by the user and show reasoning, planning, and memory, and have a level of autonomy, to pursue this goal, to take decisions, to make decisions, learn, and adapt. This is the state of the art right now, since a few months ago. So you can have several agents collaborating, and you just give it the goal, and it goes away and performs a lot of cycles of reasoning, of inference, to get the result. And there are many frameworks. We are particularly using CrewAI for something we'll mention later. So the key message now for this second part is AI tools are multimodal, can generate text, images, audio, video as input and as output. They exhibit reasoning capabilities and have access to other tools like memory and web, and can be combined to pursue goals. It's not just the text you write in the chat box, it's to pursue goals with autonomy on behalf of the users. Okay, now how does this apply to education? Is there anything wrong with education? This is an old quote by Roger Schank. He said, but it's quite handy, there are only two things wrong with education right now. Only two things. One is what we teach, the other thing is how we teach it. So everything is wrong with education in this new AI era. So how should we teach? By the way, all these images are created, of course, with AI. No? How should we teach? There are many methodologies, techniques, etc., that have been developed over the years in the learning sciences. There's connectivism, constructionism, many techniques like gamification and peer instruction, etc. So there are many methods and techniques out there. It is a rich body of knowledge. The question is, they were developed before AI. The question is how to move these, at most, cloud-based learning sciences, techniques, and methods to the AI age. This is the big challenge right now. And I'll give you just 3 examples we are currently carrying out. So it's work in progress at UC3M, at my university, although there are many other examples Could say the example of Harvard, of Malan, who has a forum of students, and within this group of participants, there's also an AI. So the AI participates together with other students in order to solve problems and get the good results. I would just mention 3 examples from my university. One is the Charlie Bot, Carlos University, where we took all the content of a MOOC, also a massive open learning course we developed 10 years ago. It was in Spanish and in English, all the videos, all the captions. We took all the slides of this particular course we teach face-to-face, all the problem exams, and with this, we trained an AI. So it's an AI trained on our particular content, the way we want to teach it, not someone else want to teach it, but I teach it. So I gave it to the students. So they have a 24/7 tutor on the particular content and the way we teach it at the university. We did it last year. We saw that there's room for improvement because the students sometimes don't use it the best way. They want to solve the problem that's given to them and are not learning, they are solving the problem in order to get along. So there's many things to think about and to develop further. Another thing I want to carry out this academic year is to extend the peer instruction methodology, which was developed several years ago by Eric Mazur from Harvard. Do you know what the peer instruction methodology is? He's a physics professor. He's a Dutch physics professor at Harvard. And he saw that the freshmen did not understand well the physical concepts. So he taught a topic, and then with clickers or some of these Mentimeter or other tools, he got some response from the students in order to see whether they were understanding the concepts or not. If most of them were understanding, no problem. If almost nobody was understanding, he repeated, maybe rephrasing the things. But in the middle, maybe the 30 to 70% of the students understood it. He let the students engage in this peer discussion. So students were discussing with themselves. Some of them got it, others not. But maybe the student who got it is going to explain it better to the other who's struggling, better than the professor who knows all the topics very well and he cannot be put itself into the feet of the student. So maybe the colleague can explain it better. So this is the peer instruction methodology. It's been used by many years, especially in physics. Now, what if we add a third participant to this peer discussion? An AI. Maybe the AI is not perfect. Neither are the students. No? But among them, there's a lot of big body of knowledge. No? 2 students with an AI maybe can get it, can grasp it, can make sense of what is being explained much better. So this is going to be run during this year. And the other thing we are doing right now, I'm going to present it next week in Miami, in Florida, is a design agent for micro-credentials. Micro-credentials is the new format for upskilling, reskilling for the workforce, which is now getting a lot of traction. No? And the design of micro-credentials has to be done in a very agile way, very fast, because things are changing very fast, and you have to develop courses, programs, short programs, and in very fast pace. And why not using an agent with sub-agents, AI agents, in order to help you to develop these micro-credential programs? So, and this is also working knowledge. We are using Crew AI in order to help you design these courses. So, key message right now. So the challenge for the coming years is how to adapt the techniques and methods that are well known for many years from the learning sciences to the AI era. I've given 3 examples. There are many other examples around there, but I think this is the most important challenge there. This is how should we teach, and what should we teach? The other question from Roger Shank. Now, what should we teach? No? This is what we do at the left. We teach knowledge, map problems to existing knowledge, try to solve them, but we have bigger challenges. how to solve crises. We are living in a continuous crisis of many kinds. There are many examples around. You just have to open the newspaper. And how to develop new knowledge. AI can help you and develop, for instance, new algorithms that mankind was not able to develop. Some of the important algorithms in sorting, etc., now are seeing breakthroughs with AI, because nobody was able to improve the efficiency of this algorithm. So for research, this is an important thing. So I don't know whether this will, so what to teach? What is the future of the university? And let me put also now a video. Is maybe not of this nothing university. Let's see.
Looking to upskill for the future?
This new AI can perform all coding jobs in seconds, including blockchain development. While this AI is already outperforming accounting firms. Meanwhile, the new graphic design AI aims to automate graphic design and could minimize the need.
Relax. Because in a future where AI does most of the work, there'll be one thing that humans will finally get to do all day long. Nothing. So it's time to learn the most essential skill of the future. 5-Star presents Nothing University, with the first ever diploma program in doing nothing. An intensive course covering the most future-ready skills out there.
Well, let me check with AI and get back to you in a few days.
Super. With our state-of-the-art workshops, campus placements, and guest lectures, the world can finally prepare for the glorious future that awaits us. Beat 5-Star. Do nothing. Enroll now.
It has been taken away from the website, but I got the video. This is the question. What shall we teach in the future? I'll give you one idea there, I believe, is supervision and judgment and critical thinking. So, but what is critical thinking? It's the objective analysis and evaluation of an issue in order to form a judgment. But how do you teach critical thinking? Do you teach by teaching the content? Because you know everything, then you can really judge. In order to simplify this question, let me give the following example. When I move to this one. The calculator. When the calculators came out, okay, I don't know whether you all know how to get the square root of a number, maybe not anymore, maybe I forgot myself, it's not necessary anymore, no? But you have to have some judgment whether the result you get makes sense, no? So let me just ask you. I don't know whether you can do it by heart, without a pen, etc. But let me ask you, how much is this? Is this correct? Who thinks this is correct? 1, okay, 2. Who thinks this is incorrect? We got some over here. Well, it's easy to see in this case, because it ends with a 0, so multiplied by 10, so the result has to also end. This was easy, no? But let me give you another example. Is this correct? We don't have a 0 anymore. We have a 7 and a 6. Oh, okay, 7 times 6 is 42. At least the 2 seems to be correct. The last digit is okay. Also, the order of magnitude seems to be correct. Now, 50,000 by 8,000, almost 9,000. 1,000 is a million. So 50 by 8, almost 9 is 450. Okay. Order of magnitude. So you see, I'm not doing the multiplication. I'm trying to give hints, to get hints on whether this is correct or not. You can do even further. No? Okay, this is multiple. Is the first factor a multiple of 3? Then the result must be also a multiple of 3, right? How do you know whether a number is multiple of 3. You add all the digits, and if the result is multiple of 3, the whole number is multiple of 3. But you don't have to add. You just delete the multiples of 3, and if you get everything wiped out, then it's a multiple of 3. So if I remove this 3, the rest has to be multiple of 3 as well. 5 plus 1 is 6, it's also multiple of 3. 8 plus 7 is multiple of 3. So I've got numbers, a combination of numbers that are multiple of 3. So I can say that the whole number is multiple of 3. So then the result has to be also multiple of 3. So let's remove all the multiples of 3. This, for instance, this 9, I can remove it, the 6, the 3, 4 plus 8, 12, also multiple of 3. 4 plus 2, multiple of 3. But then I get 8 and 2, so it's not multiple of 3. So this is incorrect. So I don't teach now how to multiply. I teach now how to check whether the result I get is correct. So this is the critical thinking aspect. Then you can do many. This is a simple example, but this gives you the idea that you have to teach differently. You have to teach now, work like a software engineer who's doing testing. They developed a software, and there are several techniques to check whether this software does the right thing. So critical thinking is like software testing, it's like checking whether the result makes sense. So it's a completely different thing. So let me give the message here. It's easier to check than to solve, but you have to teach different things. It's easier to check whether Sudoku solved is correct, than to solve the Sudoku. But you have to learn how to check rather than how to solve. It's a completely different skill. The human in the loop, the human in the center, I would say, and the new creativity. Now, this is the image. This is the first photograph that came out several decades ago. And people thought that then all the paintings were going to disappear because it wasn't necessary to paint anymore. You had the photograph. But then this gave rise to a new era of Impressionism, Expressionism, Cubism, etc., a new way of seeing the world, which was put into this. So it's a new creativity that was appeared there when the possibility to take photos was there. So with these were affordances. You don't have much time. Let's go briefly through the issues which are there, and there are many. So this is a cover of the Time magazine, The End of Humanity. People were asking to pause AI for 6 months because it was going too fast, and even to mitigate the risk of extinction from AI should be global priority. And that's people like Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, saying, "Hey, will probably most likely lead the end of the world, but meantime will be great about the companies." Okay, well, good. This is not very nice. No? But there are many open issues, no? Still there. Sovereignty. I mean, US and China are leading this way of advancing AI. Where's Europe? Do we depend on AI tools from other parts of the world? What is the dependence? What does it mean for independence and to be dependent of other tools? Privacy. All the content which was available on the web was used to train these systems, even without asking for permission about the possibility to get it. Where's the privacy there? Regulation is needed. AI is taking, I think, the correct way in this AI Act, which gives different levels of safety of AI tools. I can go through more details if time allows. Biases, energy consumption, which is huge. It's also already with all these web search engines, etc. So many open issues there, and even mental health and even suicide. This is a person, a young man who killed himself after months of encouragement from ChatGPT. When we moved from the Industrial Revolution from 1 and 2 to 3, we didn't have to go to the field to get the crop, but we got tractors to do the physical work for us. And now we have to go to gym in order to exercise. If we make a parallel to the situation we have right now, where the intellectual work can be done even better than us, what do we have to do? Do we have to train? Do we have to do Sudokus in order to have our brain active? What do we have to do in order not to be inactive, not physically, but intellectually? No? This cognitive offloading, this metacognitive laziness is a real danger, because we just rely on the results we get from AI and we don't think ourselves. So this has to be taken very seriously. Before it was said that work smarter to work less, and take advantage of the affordances of AI, but especially for learning, you have to learn harder in order to learn more, because it's the only way, a way to remember, to internalize, to really grasp the concepts that are being taught to you. So sometimes being smarter is not the smart way. You have to really suffer it in order to understand it well. So, yeah, rather than try smarter, not harder, well, try harder, not smarter is sometimes the way to go. Well, let me finish because I'm just running out of time. So we have had important challenges in humanity with the atomic bomb, which is terrible effects on humanity, but also the possibility to generate energy. It has to be regulated, it has to be very well analyzed. Now we are in a really similar challenge, you know? How to embrace, how to regulate AI so that it's not dangerous and controls us, like in this, I'm sorry, Dave, I'm afraid I cannot do that, in this, I don't know how it is in English, Odisea en el Espacio, 2001 Space Odyssey, probably. And in order to really to be an internal copilot, not a controller upon us. So this is an important challenge. So let me here also finalize, in order to incorporate AI tools into our activities, teaching, learning, working. It's good to do it, but you have to do it in a safe way, in that respects and helps the human. The human is in control, not the AI. It's compliant with law and is environmental friendly, which is a big, of course, a big challenge. So let me conclude with this quote by Lena Zaidi. She says, AI is not disrupting education. It is disrupting the industrial, 2.0, 3.0 industrial model for education, where we treated students like widgets on a conveyor belt. We have to take the opportunity to humanize education and take advantage of the affordances of AI, but knowing clearly the risk, you know, to rethink what education is and why it matters. Let me finalize also with some positive ideas. Since AI is multimodal, we can translate from text to audio, from audio to images, etc. This multimodality allows us to have a much more accessible and inclusive world. So if I started with AI assisted instruction, let me finish with AIAI, accessible and inclusive AI. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have about 5 or 6 minutes for questions. That was an incredibly dense presentation. And the maths question made me feel like I was back in maths class. So I hated that. So thank you very much. Any questions? Any questions? We've got a few minutes for questions.
Thank you, Professor, for your presentation. I'm Roxana Orrego from Santiago de Chile, Universidad de Santiago de Chile. And while I was, paying attention to your presentation, I was wondering about, the effects of pandemics, on comprehension skills, in our students. AI, is advancing further, and we still have, this, population that do not master, doesn't master, sorry, reading comprehension, skills. So my question is, how do you think that AI can, help us, to develop perhaps, reading comprehension skills, in those students, or those people that have not achieved, these skills. Thank you very much.
What reading comprehension or reading comprehension? Well, first of all, I would like to say AI doesn't have to be used for everything. Still, there exist other things apart from AI. So we have to take advantage of the affordances and the tools that are being developed there, but not always think that AI has to solve everything. There are many other things, the human warmth is sometimes much more useful than using a tool. So this is one thing. And the other thing I would like to say is that, of course, this creates sometimes a bigger gap because there will be those countries and those families or those people who can afford AI and those who cannot. With the previous, the 3.0, the web search, it was basically available for everybody as long as they have connectivity and they have a tool and they have a mobile phone. Many people have around the world a mobile phone because the business model was, okay, you have this for free, but you get some advertisements. This is how I finance myself. Google's a marketing company rather than. But now the business model the AI companies have decided on is a subscription. I pay $20 a month for OpenAI, to get a good results. And there will be people who cannot afford this, and even if we depend on it, it will be probably more expensive. So it will create a bigger gap, which is really dangerous. So some people who will be able to use AI and some who will not be able to do this. So this is really dangerous. And so politicians and the civil society will have to address these important issues. Yeah.
I have time for one more question.
Hello, thank you so much, Dr. Carlos, for this enlightening and very insightful presentation. One thing I wanted to ask about is the idea that two major powers right now in the world are advancing the AI on only them. So I believe there are certain agendas integrated within AI. So how do you think we can mitigate the influence or the impact of AI systems on, well, specifically the younger generations, such as students? Like, how can we encourage them to have the individualistic mentality?
I mean, it's an important
Thank
question
you so much.
to ask there. No, it's very difficult. No, so this is a political and societal challenge we have there. It's not really true that Europe is not doing anything about AI. So there are basically national initiatives, like the Swiss, like the French have Mistral and Magistral, which is a French initiative, push very much, and so Germany, and you have Swiss GPT, etc. So the things going on there, but not at the pace and the big investments that these two other regions of the world is pushing. And it's a geopolitical race, that is being run there. And I can give you the magic answer, but one thing you have to do is not to forget about it, because you're using it even if you don't know or if you don't want. In my email client, when I get the message on my Mac, at the subject line, I don't get the subject. I get the summary of the content. Have you noticed? Summary of so the AI is being used there, or in many other places, it's being used already without you even noticing. So everybody is a user, even if they want to, of AI. So we are seeing it everywhere, and it's a competitive advantage for those companies, countries, regions of the world who push for it. And I wish in Europe there was better consensus among different countries in order to push this further, take into account all the risks. But one thing Europe has done well is this AI Act, which categorizes different levels of AI use. And for instance, for spam filters, they get the spam messages out with AI. For this, you don't even need to know whether it is. This is on the level 0. And on level 4 or the 4th level is this, what in China is used, these social points they have there. No? If you do something bad, you get deducted some points. No? This is in Europe totally prohibited. So you have to distinguish between different applications of AI and what is possible, what you have to do just with information like avatars or with permission, and which is totally forbidden. So I think this is the right way to proceed, to have this AI Act, but then the industry has to be pushed further, the countries have to cooperate further in order to be ahead in this very important race, which we want it or not, is already there. Thank you very much.
Please join me in thanking Professor Delgado Kloos for this great presentation.
Thank you very much.